Give me a minute and let's respond to New Me's comment. Peter, let me ask you, the attack on Russia on Friday, what was that based on? And the reality is that we do not know. I can tell you what happened, I can tell you what we know now, but we don't really know. Currently, the FSB is saying that they have 11 people in custody. They are mostly Tajik nationals. Those Tajik nationals had a car that had Belarusian plates on it. They say that they were contacted anonymously over the internet and paid sums of around $2,700 US to do this. Can you imagine being so poor that the worst people in the world can take advantage of you to do the worst things for a lousy $3,000? That's the world we're living in right now. So these guys are in custody. They've clearly been beaten. The videos of them show them confessing to the crimes and telling all about how they were contacted anonymously online. The FSB is trying to connect this to Ukraine, saying that these perpetrators were headed to Ukraine to escape and that they had contacts in Ukraine. Ukraine, for its part, is flatly denying any participation in this nightmarish massacre. And I can't imagine that Ukraine had anything to do with it. I can't imagine that the Foreign Legion had anything to do with it. I can't imagine that the Freedom of Russia Brigades had anything to do with it. They're trying to win the hearts and minds of the Russian people in a revolution to overthrow the oligarchy that has them all enslaved. They're not looking to off their fellow Russians. It makes no sense. Widely, it is believed that, like other false flag operations that Putin conducted in which Russian civilians were unalived, that he's behind this whole thing. And the fact that Dmitry Peskov, hours before this attack, said, "We are no longer in a special military operation, we are now in a state of war," and that likely this is to lead to a full mobilization of Russian forces and the Russian Federation, it's not impossible that the Russians are behind it themselves. So the Islamic State has taken credit for it, but the Islamic State has taken credit for things they didn't do in the past. They are not an entirely trustworthy organization, to say the least. Could it be them? It could be. We just saw down south in the oblast adjacent to Chechnya, the FSB take out 6 Islamic State terrorists maybe a month ago in a pitched battle with grenades and grenade launchers and heavy weapons right in a town inside of Russia. So it's entirely possible that this is another action by the Islamic State. At this time, and we may never know the truth, Angela, we may never know the truth. I can't say for sure. But that's where all the fingers are pointing and what we know as of right now. Thanks.